Hello, my friends. Today we bring you Jennifer Aniston's filmography, Mac and Me. After escaping from a secret NASA facility, a mysterious alien finds refuge with a boy in a wheelchair, and together they develop an unlikely friendship while facing dangers and challenges. Camp Cucamonga. An accountant and his wife run a summer camp for teenagers. What starts as a pleasant experience quickly turns into a true nightmare for the couple as the teens cause all sorts of trouble. Leprechaun. In search of his stolen gold, a mischievous and cunning Irishman uses his magical powers to spread chaos and terrorize a quiet little town, leaving everyone at the mercy of his enchanted tricks and unpredictable pranks. Dream for an Insomniac. Disillusioned with love, Frankie fears she'll never find the ideal man until she meets David, the new co-worker. When she discovers he has a girlfriend, she decides to use a bold strategy to win him over. She's the one. The lives of married siblings, Mickey and Frances Fitzpatrick, are shaken by the arrival of Heather, Mickey's ex-girlfriend, sparking conflicts, rivalry, and marital challenges that force them to learn important lessons about love and life. Picture perfect. Kate Mosley pretends to be engaged to secure a promotion, but when her boss wants to meet the fiancé, she must find a guy and convince him to go along with the charade, risking her career and reputation. Til There Was You. Gwen Moss spent her life searching for the man of her dreams, unaware that she briefly met him in childhood and that their paths crossed several times over the years without her realizing it. The object of my affection. George and Nina meet at a dinner, become friends, and start living together. Despite Nina dating Vince and George being gay, she begins to develop feelings for him. When she becomes pregnant by Vince, she decides to raise the baby with George. The Thin Pink Line. Mockumentary about Chauncey Ledbetter, an eccentric and flamboyant male supermodel convicted of murder and sentenced to death. The filmmakers interview various people connected to him, the victim, and the case in an effort to uncover the truth. Office Space. Peter Gibbons, dissatisfied with his job, receives a promotion after his therapist dies during a hypnosis session. Along with his friends, he devises a plan for revenge against the company, which is about to make layoffs. Rock star. In the 80s, Chris Cole, a salesman and lead singer of a heavy metal cover band, has his life transformed when he's chosen to replace the vocalist of his favorite band, Steel Dragon. The Good Girl. Dissatisfied with her routine and tired of her lazy husband, a shop clerk gets involved with a stock boy who believes himself to be the embodiment of Holden Caulfield. Bruce Almighty. Bruce Nolan is a journalist with a perfect life. When things start to go wrong, he questions God and how he runs the earth. The Almighty gives Bruce all his powers, but Bruce soon realizes how difficult it is to be omnipresent. Along Came Polly. Reuben Pfeffer, a risk-averse insurance broker, is betrayed during his honeymoon, and upon returning to New York, reconnects with Polly Prince, an old acquaintance who challenges him to confront his neuroses. Derailed. A couple involved in an extramarital affair is attacked by a criminal in a motel who blackmails them. They decide not to report it to the police, fearing that the secret of their infidelity will be exposed to their families. Rumor has it, Sarah travels from New York to her sister's wedding in California and uncovers clues that suggest her family inspired a famous movie, leading her to question the identity of her father. Friends with Money. 4 best friends balance friendships, relationships, and finances. One of them, single and with fewer resources, decides to start working as a cleaning lady to cover her expenses. The Breakup. Brooke, an art saleswoman, and Gary, a bus driver, end their relationship, but neither wants to leave the apartment. After several failed attempts by friends to intervene, the only solution is for them to continue living together. Management. Sue, an art executive, meets Mike, a lonely hotel manager still living with his parents. After a night together, Mike decides to follow Sue, setting off a chain of events that will unexpectedly change their lives. Marley and Me. Recently married, John and Jenny Grogan moved from Michigan to Florida. There, the couple buys their first home and finds jobs at competing newspapers. Later, John and Jenny adopt Marley, an adorable yellow lab puppy. He's just not that into you. A group of men and women from Baltimore navigates the thrill of first dates and the challenges of married life while trying to interpret the signals sent by the opposite sex, hoping to be the exception to the rule. Love happens. Burke Ryan, a best-selling self-help author, has yet to overcome the death of his wife. He meets Eloise Chandler, who is skeptical about men and relationships, and the two are instantly drawn to each other. The Bounty Hunter. Milo Boyd, a former cop turned bounty hunter, is hired to capture his ex-wife Nicole, a reporter. Together, they find themselves pursued by criminals after an investigation into a murder and must join forces to escape. The Switch. Cassie decides to fulfill her dream of becoming a mother through artificial insemination, but her friend Wally, on a whim, switches the sample, unexpectedly changing the future of everyone involved. Just go with it. Danny, a plastic surgeon, engages in casual relationships until he falls for Palmer. To win her over, he lies, claiming he is married to his friend Catherine and the father of her children. Horrible bosses. Nick, Kurt, and Dale, victims of abuse by their bosses Dave, Bobby, and Julia, decide to team up and devise a bold plan to get rid of them once and for all, seeking both freedom and revenge. Wanderlust. George and Linda are a workaholic couple from New York. When George loses his job, they move in search of new opportunities. They eventually discover an alternative community where all resources are shared. We're the Millers. The drug dealer David needs to go to Mexico to pick up a shipment of drugs. To improve his chances of crossing the border, he asks a stripper and 2 local teenagers to accompany him and pretend to be a family on vacation. Life of crime. Mickey Dawson is kidnapped, and her wealthy husband, who is with his mistress, refuses to pay the ransom demanded by the criminals. As a result, the kidnappers plan to find another way to get the money they want. She's funny that way. The cast of a Broadway play becomes entangled in a love triangle when a theater director hires his former escort, now an actress, to star in his next production, alongside his wife and her former lover. Cake. Claire Simmons, traumatized and obsessed with the suicide of Nina, a fellow member of a support group, begins to have visions of her and decides to investigate her life. Gradually, she grows closer to Roy, Nina's ex-husband. Horrible bosses, too. Tired of their bosses, Nick, Kurt, and Dale start their own business. When an investor tricks them and steals the company, they kidnap his son to get the ransom money and save their business. Mother's Day. 5 stories of motherhood intersect. Sandy, a single mother. Bradley, a single father. Jesse, with a strained relationship with his mother. Kristen, who never knew her biological mother. And Miranda, who chooses her career. Office Christmas Party. The president of a company decides to close her brother's branch. Determined to save everyone's jobs, he and his employees organize an epic party in the hopes of attracting a VIP client and reversing the decision. The Yellow Birds. 2 young soldiers are sent to Iraq. Amid pressures from all sides, they end up under the care of an older sergeant and face various acts of violence in their daily struggle for survival. Dumplin. Determined to challenge society's standards, teenager Willow Dean Dixon, the daughter of a former miss, enters the beauty pageant organized by her mother, ready to show that beauty comes in different shapes and sizes. Murder Mystery. During an unforgettable trip to Europe, a New York police officer and his wife, a hairdresser, find themselves involved in the investigation of a murder aboard a billionaire's luxurious yacht. Murder Mystery 2. Nick and Audrey Spitz, now owners of a private investigation agency, finally get a high-stakes case. Their billionaire friend is kidnapped on his wedding day, and they must solve the mystery before it's too late. Who would you like to see in the next video? Write in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next time.